what do you think the first thing people thinking about you when they're seeing you?
Oh, I think they say, "Oh my God, this guy's fucking crazy."
Interesting. Why?
Head tattoos, eyeliner tattoos, mohawk, jewelry, and I'm built like a shit brick house. Yeah.
That's a good point. We're gonna talk about that really soon, but before that, let's understand who you are. Lightstone, performance coach, the host of the Stone Protocol podcast, and soon host of the show that we're gonna start together.
The Prism, yeah.
Prism.
Hosted by Lightstone here at Let's Do Podcast. So incredibly excited for it.
What is the Prism?
So the Prism is basically a avant-garde conversational talk show where hosted by me, and we'll have usually 2 regular guests sitting to my right and left. I have a couple of people in mind that are actually have been on the podcast, and some of them are actually contracted with you. And then we'll invite usually 2 other guests, sometimes more, sometimes with conflicting perspectives, and almost like a, kind of like a playpen. I will be kind of the, not referee, but the the person hosting this conversation of these very different perspectives to be able to bring clarity. So the idea of like what a prism is or a diamond, if we think about what truth is, we can say this word of truth, but there's so many facets and colors to truth. And if we don't actually differentiate those different perspectives to understand them, we can get lost in this kind of like confusion of what are we actually talking about. And so we're going to dive in and actually try to understand these things together.
That's a good point. We're going to dive into that really soon, but all the meaning of that podcast is the way of the 1%. To understand how the 1% living the life.
Yeah.
I even wrote a book about that I hope so to launch.
It's in Hebrew, right?
It's right now in Hebrew. It's going to be in English as well.
Yeah. And you're going to teach me Hebrew, right? We talked about that in my podcast.
It's going to take you a long time.
Bro, I mean, I got years, so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the way of the 1%. Why? Because when I grew up by a shadow of my father. I learn from him, I show him, and I see him, how we acting, how we eating, how we sitting, how we talking, everything about him I learn. And this is, I think that's one of the reasons about who I am right now. Same moment I saw his best friend, that all his best friend are business owner, running a big companies. And every time there was a barbecue in my home, all the neighborhood was coming just to see all the cars because it was the richest people in Israel. That's how I grew up.
And that was your father?
That's my father, and that's how I grew up. I saw how the 1% acting. I saw how they talking. I saw how they acting. I saw how they sitting. Everything I learned from them.
How did they act and sit differently, just out of curiosity?
Well, that's a great question. So first, they feel comfortable. Okay. I think that's the most important thing. They feel comfortable about how they are and who they are. That's a lot of people is not feeling comfortable. They no area for nothing. They taking the time because in the end, it's more important. You can make for one meeting $100 million and you can just take the time. You don't know what opportunity will come for you.
Right.
Third, they never say no about opportunities. Okay, you don't know what and which will bring you. Even if you can say yes, as example, we can say yes about the show. We can find out that I believe it will not happen. Like after 4 months, we're just wasting our time.
Yeah.
But at least we say yes.
Not with the Prism, but another show.
Another show. But the same moment is like, we never say no. We're checking that and we're seeing how it's working. Then we can give the right response and to act in the right way. And maybe we can say, okay, the show is fucking great. But maybe the original guests are not fitting.
Right.
Maybe that's not the right way. Right. Maybe we need that and we don't need that, and etc.
Yeah.
And that's something that's really important, what I saw about them. Second, the way, they walk, the way they dress, the way they speak. It's really important. And what I did in my book, I wrote what I believe to be in the 1%. I wrote my way. I wrote the way that I saw, and I wrote the way of the 1% of really acting, from decision making, from like excuses, from everything. Like I wrote about the most important decision of your life, the only thing in life that you can control about afraid. Like I think when you are scary for something is the biggest motivation. You just need to learn how to control what you're scared of.
Yeah.
Like I'm scared to stay where I am right now. and I love myself. I think I will buy a beer for myself as well.
Mhm.
But at the same moment, that's my biggest fear in my life, is to stay who I am, because I need to be better in everything I'm doing.
Right.
I think that's the way of the 1%, always to get improved.
I love that.
That's the meaning of the show. And I think the first question I will ask you is like, Lightstone is a character.
Mhm.
It's not regular person. When you come into the room, people know that you're in the room.
Right.
What you think the main thing in your life that build Lightstone to be who he is?
So it's interesting, when I think of the 1%, I went to grade school in New England, and there was this mural on the wall that said 99% of people, and had a big picture of the globe, are followers, 1% are leaders. And it said, who do you choose to be? I remember this in grade school. I got a lot of neurological testing as a child, intelligence testing, and I was lucky enough to actually see those results. They said that I was a atypical person, like neuroatypical, and I was in the 1% and actually higher. It's like 0.001%. So even like the 1% of the 1% for certain levels of intelligence. In other things, I was in kind of like unknown locations as well. And so I would look at that mural and go, I am in certain ways in that, not just 1%, but the 1% of the 1%. And now it's going to be, how do I choose to interact with the world? And so when you're in the 1% or the 1% of the 1%, particularly with some neural atypicality or intelligence, for me, it was like abstract reasoning and problem solving and things like that, you orient very differently. And so I now choose to orient this way, and I am very much like a character. I just like it. I think it's fun. And I find it very joyful. And so it can be hard, though, as I'm sure you also know, being in that 1% and being very different than other people. And so I try to now approach, what is it to just be me, knowing that I am so far outside of the norm. There's a really funny graph where it'll track testosterone and IQ, and they actually correlate pretty high for males, higher testosterone and higher IQ. And there's a graph, it's on the internet, it's a meme, and there's this one dude that's like way super high, of like the highest testosterone and the highest IQ, and everyone's like, we got to find that guy. I take PEDs, so like I can be that guy through these performance enhancing drugs.
Okay.
And so there are ways that we can also put ourselves in that 1% through protocols. And that's what we do with the Stone Protocol in my coaching program.
That's amazing. And I will ask you another question. Most of the people, yesterday I sat with one of my interns, is Ethan, and we talk about,
he's a new guy, right? Yeah, I like him. He's great. Yeah.
So we talk about question that he have for his school, and he asked me what something that people are not knowing about building a business, being a founder, that is important to know when I speak about loneliness. Because when you're starting something, when you're different from everyone else, you will become lonely, because if you don't go into a party or something because you need to work, or you have some bigger commitment, or when you don't have time to go do snowboard with your friend when everyone going, I always try to tell people, you're going to be lonely.
Come to the gym, bro.
Or go to the gym, or be used to that people will not even invite you. Your best friend cannot invite you for stuff because you are different from them. And then I talk about that pillar of friendship, about there is friends for life, friends for reason, and friends for time.
I like that. I've not thought of it in that way before. I like that distinction.
It's because there is, and I will extend it better, friends for time. There is a time period of life that we can be great friends. As example, when you go into high school, you have friends from high school that you remember them, you remember so much memories, but you don't talk with them right now. And then there is first for reason. As example, when you run your business, you had friends that was for reason. The business was the reason. Okay. And then there is friends for life. That's the pillar of people. Does not matter what you will do in your life, they will stay there for you, and you will stay there for them. And that's three difference of friends that I think and believe and exist.
What would you say is your percentage of those three buckets of friends that you have? I'm like thinking for myself too, but I'm curious.
Great question. I think it's like 5 to 10% in the friends for life. And the other is separate and split for reason and time, because reason can be time and time can be reason. I'm friends of someone because because we have the same reason. first degree right now. We're in college together,
Right.
and it's time too, because when college will end, we'll be
Right.
over. We'll not be friends anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's important to understand. As first as possible, when you meet someone,
Mhm.
what pillars of friendship is gonna be, because when you understand that, the moment that the time or the reason end, you don't become sad. You don't
Right.
feel like your friends.
Yeah, it's
left you.
okay.
And it's
It's time to move on.
another one,
Yeah.
and that's make your life easier.
I see it like it's almost like buckets, and they feed into one another, and it's like a sieve, right? And so
Mhm.
you have like I have so many friends for a reason, and some of it's just gym friends. Like I literally see them in the gym, and like, not to speak ill of any of my gym friends, but I probably would not hang out with them outside of the gym. Now, I do go to the gym with friends that I have for other reasons, or friends for work, and then friends for life too. But then I find that it's almost like gates. I'll have friends for a reason or friends for time, and then like lead into friends for life. And I almost like, in a great way, can't help but have those friends forever, because we both are so like magnetized to each other
Mhm.
that we just like want to fucking hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think everyone in life have that. Even for me with my squad in the military,
Mhm.
not everyone over there they are friends for life. But when we've been in the military, and if we go into reserve or something, we are willing to die for each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important of understanding who
Mhm.
the people around you.
Yeah.
And to understand that you're gonna be lonely if
Right.
you want and aiming to achieve high stuff, and
Yeah.
you want to be in the 1%. And I think I saw that on my father as well.
Mhm.
That I think only right now we found is a real group of friends at the age of 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so now, wow, geez.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
and I saw him all my life, and
Mhm.
all my life I was like always want to be next to his friend, but I think only now we first time found like 3 friends
Mhm.
that wants to be friends of him only because who he is, not
Right.
because money,
What they can
not
do for
because
him.
interest, not because nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's powerful.
What so this is like what it's just like bringing up for me, this 1%, and exactly what you're saying about your dad, and now also about the loneliness. What is it like for you when you were in the 1%? I can share my perspective too, of that feeling of, I guess it's like loneliness, but almost like being judged. So like I get judged all the time for my physique. And I literally, I can pull it up. I posted on Instagram.
Your physique, your tattoo, your
All of it.
haircut.
So much.
And just important to know,
yeah.
Light was one of the most handsome guy even before. I don't know, like he did all of that not to become handsome. He was handsome before.
I did it for fun. Yeah. I want to show this to you, but it's like, it's so perfect. So I literally was able to post my stats of where I am for my physique. So I am in the 0.0% of body fat, and then 0.2% of muscle mass, like for athletes now.
Overall, but not for people in your age.
That's overall. Yeah. So for 40, I'm like doing really well. And so people judge me all the time. And so, and for you and for your dad, people then also extraction, they want things. What is it like for you? And like, and how do you manage this around, I'm just curious, and like sharing like that being in the 1%, and like people kind of hating you for it,
Yeah, first I accept the loneliness, and I accept what my goals bring in with. I never expect that people will, like I have a couple of friends that I know that they will be there for me. I give you example. There is a guy that name is Offer, that I met him in college, and he is 6 years, 7 years older than me.
Yeah.
And the reason I went to college, I know, it's only because to meet him. I didn't learn nothing in bachelor degree. It's waste of time for me but I went and met Offer. Offer and I cannot speak like for 2 weeks, but the moment we speak is like we're talking every day.
Yeah.
And he's a really good friend of mine. I can share with him everything. He can tell me everything, and the opposite. And that I accept that people will not want to be next to me because who I am and what I'm saying. Because if not, someone will sit with me right now and he start to complain about life. I will tell him, like, shut the fuck up, find solutions, stop crying, and like build yourself
do
up.
Something.
And if someone asks for me for advice and I tell him what is my opinion, and then every time saying, no, you don't know, So why the hell you come to advice? When I come into someone to advice, I'm shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
listening.
Right.
And I have someone that is 75 years old, worth $500 million, that I always ask for him for advices. How many times he say about me stuff that he can tell me you are stupid that you don't thinking about it. And it can be the smallest thing in the world. They can literally come here. Why you don't every day make sure that the table is looking perfect with that? And you're I don't even think about coming here, clean the table, but I don't need I need to lift the table, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he's doing. He come to me and say to me the hardest stuff in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there, shut the fuck up and listen.
Right.
And that's, I think, something at the 1%. No.
Right.
I can sit you met a guy in the sauna that was that give you the elbow to shake your hand.
Yeah.
That guy for 6 months, every morning, 2 hours, was sitting about me and telling me 1, 2, 3, everything that is bad about me.
Yeah.
And you know what I did? I listened and I say yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I agree, maybe I
Right.
not agree. But I taking that for myself as approval. I will never take something personally.
Yeah.
You can come to me, you will tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Say, I ever told you, shut the fuck up. I don't no. I say, man, you're right. We're improving everything. Even if it's 99%, we can do it 100%. And then when it's 100%, we can find how to do it 101 and 102 and make it even better and better and better. Everything in life. Yeah. Nothing is perfect. You can see iPhone 4 and you can see iPhone 16, 17 there is now.
Right.
It's different game. And when iPhone now 17, we are thinking to ourselves how it can be better.
Totally.
And tomorrow is going to be iPhone 18. It's going to be better. Then iPhone 19. Yeah. And then we can... 50 years from now, we see iPhone
brainstem.
iPhone it's gonna be not even iPhone. In Mark Zuckerberg right now moved the iPhone to his sunglasses. So as the 1%, you always need to learn and push ahead. You need to accept the stuff that is bringing to loneliness. That people will be jealous in you. Yeah. When I got the car, people brought me
the Supra.
How you can bring that car after 11 months of business. And my mom responded. It was funny, and she say it's hard work. And people send me private messages. What are you doing? That I say doesn't matter what I will do. I know that I will make it successful because I believe in myself. I know that I will do everything. When I started the business, I sent over 400 emails a day to get clients. And the first 3 months, I spent $100 a month because I didn't have money for food.
Right.
And I didn't want to call and ask for money. I didn't want that. But at the same moment, I was doing everything to make that happen. That's the way of the 1%. You will do and will sacrifice everything for that. And you will not give excuses. You will not cry. And you sit up and
I think the cool thing is you don't even need to sacrifice everything. You do ethically anything in service to what you love. So you have a significant other, you're married. You don't have to sacrifice that relationship, but you can put in yourself to then actually nourish that, and so instead of it being self-destructive, it can be self-generative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fine.
Because you're not going to sacrifice her, you're not going to sacrifice your kid. Yeah.
And that's funny because I'm listening. Just Alex Osmosi went to sit with Tony Robbins and just
I saw that.
Asking the question that he wants, and he speak about you need to stop focusing about suffering and focusing about happiness. And our creation is give us happiness. When I know that you will just today, you got 100K views on one video, it gave us happiness. Because it's showing that what we are doing worth something. And that's why I started that kind of business, because my goal is to make people to understand that we are here to make
the coolest part place. Is that clip is one of my core ethos of my coaching program. Actually, I fucking love, and I have it pinned on my thing. And so I now am able to put that front facing in this fucking awesome studio, saying this is something that's pivotal to me. Should I play it just for fun?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Here we go. In my coaching program, I really try to optimize for several things. 3 really important ones is to be the most magnetic person in the room, the most trustworthy person in the room, and the most dangerous person in the room.
You want
to be all 3. Okay.
Why magnetic?
Yeah.
Why he wants to be the most magnetic person in the room?
Yeah. So magnetism is so important, in my opinion. So you want to be able to draw people into your field that you have, harmonic resonance with. So someone that you have that deep, heartfelt connection. I felt it the first time that I met you in the sauna. I was like, this guy's fucking cool. I was like, I low-key hope he's not Masad and he's gonna fucking try to kill me. But hey, whatever. I'll roll the dice on it.
You have beepers over there.
What's that? Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm gonna care for my beeper. And to draw those people towards you. But then also a magnet also can repulse. And we don't even have to be like judgmental, but like there are people, some of them are incredibly liberal with blue hair and apparently are rioting for reasons that I don't understand right now. I don't want those people in my life. I'm happy to have a conversation with them, but I don't want them close to me. I want them close to my kids. You know what I mean? And so the magnetism also goes the other way. And we call those just healthy boundaries.
Okay. So you say there is people that you want to magnet to you and people that you don't want to magnet to you.
Yeah.
But as example,
Mm-hmm.
you think if you was looking as a different person than you,
Mm-hmm.
and you will want you to be close to yourself.
Sure.
Why?
Why would I want to be close to me? Well, if
And
I
let's say you are a different person.
okay, sure. Am I male or female?
No, let's say like someone looking at you
Okay.
as a business perspective.
Oh, sure.
And like you're looking at light, you're looking at the island, you're looking at the air, you're looking at the data, you're looking at the circular.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at you from the side.
Yeah.
Why people would want to be close to you?
I would hope that they would have a certain level of curiosity, that this person is so intentional, that there's intention. I wear the same shirt every day. It's different. I have like probably 16 of these. Seriously. I wear the same pairs of jeans. I have, I think, 8 pairs of these jeans. I have several pairs of black boots, the same pair of black underwear. You know, I have the same protein shake, like the same like, meal prepped rice. Like I'm so intentional about my life. Same like Blue Lotus nasal spray. Like everything is totally dialed in because I'm so clear about what I want. And I send that out into the universe. This is who I am. This is what I value. This is what I want. And if you want to play with me and co-create joy, we have a clip on that on Let's Do Podcast about literally just dropped today. What does that mean to co-create joy? Then like, please come and play with me. You know, like I'm a friendly, magnanimous, highly dangerous individual. And that's the third piece of being very dangerous, of like, I know how to keep hold a strong boundary, but that should be very interesting. So I'll have people come up to me in the gym, on the street, just be like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do. And I know nothing about you, but I had to say hello to you. And they're like, and I don't even know how to engage with you. Hi. I'm like, oh, it's perfect. You know, like my name is Lightstone. Like, let's have a conversation. And that's magnetism. And hopefully people feel that like comfort and safety because yes, I'm huge, I'm large, I have such a strong personality. My hair is done a certain way. Wear tattoos. I've got an orbital piercing. Like one of the reasons I have these tattoos, and do you have any tattoos? No. So guys will get tattoos as a signal, not of dominance, but like I have sat through pain. Emotional pain, physical pain. This was one of the most painful experiences of my life. Needles around your eyes. And so like to be like, I'm like no offense, like a fucking badass. Like I can sit down and have a woman needle my eyes multiple times and be there and hold that line. That's how powerful I am. And I bring that into anything that I do, whether there's a business partnership, a friendship, or lovemaking with, my significant other.
That's a good point. What I think the reaction of people, like the first reaction of people seeing you.
Yeah, totally.
How did I say, oh, light, and where the Lightstone came from?
Yeah. So men either want one of two things. They either want to fight me or usually be my friend and emulate something that I have. And I am them too. So I see your drive, your leadership style. I want to emulate that, right? I want to be inspired by it. And I want to osmosis that into me. And I'm able to do that from a place of security. So I'm not insecure. You're not insecure either, right? Guys who will get aggressive, and they're usually weaker males, like physically weaker males. They feel bad. And so their reaction is they can then be aggressive, socially aggressive, sometimes physically aggressive. I mean, it's like laughable. It's a joke. But they feel badly about themselves. And it's a reflection of how they feel about themselves. So that's the reaction. Women, I'm just gonna be very honest. They, it's like when you see a beautiful woman, most guys want to have sex with her. Like most women want to have sex with me. And it's an unconscious thing. I'm very, masculine. Now, if they're in a committed relationship, they'll usually not engage in that way. Just like if I see a beautiful woman who's with a guy, I will acknowledge beauty, move on, right? Another type of woman who's in a committed relationship is able to compartmentalize, okay, cool, sure, we could have sexual attraction there, but we're not going to do that if she's married or in a relationship, but I can have a beautiful friendship. And so I have many, many female friends and business colleagues that I love spending time with. We'll have conversations and be like, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you too. Great. And then we let that go and move on. And so that's a lot of the reactions that I get. It's usually pretty binary. It's either people love it or people hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that hate it usually have some self-hatred, is my experience.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I can answer your second question about Lightstone if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I changed my name, so I'm a published author and I have books published under my former name. I kept my last name, Stone, but I realized, hey, I want to choose who I am. I don't want other people. I don't want the world to tell me what I am. I want to look the way that I want to look. I want to dress the way I want to dress. I want to drive the kind of car that I want to drive. And so I decided if I could choose to be anything, I would choose to be light. And that choice of being light and literally having more love and light in my heart and sending that out, that was going to be an intentional choice every single day. I was going to wake up in the morning. That was going to be my ethos. I'm going to send light out from my heart. And I am so committed to this as a life path that I'm going to literally legally change my name. And I had to go to the Boulder courthouse 13 times. I think there was some weird 13 angels on a windowsill thing around this to get it changed. I had to argue with the judge. The judge was like, you're not allowed to do that. I'm like, I legally am. They're like, it's too religious. I'm like, you can't say that. Actually, that's not how the law works. And I got into an argument with the judge and finally I was able to get it passed. And so last name Stone used to be Stein. So we were German Jews. We came here from Germany. I've got some Slavic ancestry, Jewish ancestry, and then a lot of Nordic ancestry as well, from the Guni tribe. And so they draw their lineage all the way back to Odin's son, and Thor's son. And then also on the Jewish side to Solomon, King Solomon. And then we've got stuff from Scandinavia and other places, Irish and Scottish. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to keep my last name as Stone just because I love that. And Lightstone is like a prism. And that's just like the show that we're doing.
Nice. So
yeah.
You still have the books with the old name?
Yeah.
What is the name of the books?
Runa the Apprentice is one of my fantasy novels. The Last Amazon is another one. I was the creative director and one of the writers, not the lead writer, but one of the writers for the Red Opera. And then an as of yet unreleased book. I'm no longer working on that project, but I was the creative director, co-creative director. I don't think I have that title anymore. And one of the writers for Sirens, Battle of the Bards. And then there are other books too. I ghost wrote a bunch of books. Yeah, as well. Those were all under my former name.
What is your former name?
People have to look it up. I'm not going to dead name myself. Yeah. It's okay. I mean, it's all over the internet, so it's not like a mystery.
I love that. We need to find out.
Yeah. Google's a thing. It for me, it's almost like that part of myself. I cherish it, but I don't self-identify with that anymore. It was like a chrysalis, and the chrysalis or the snakeskin, beautiful. And it's like hanging up on the wall. I have pictures of myself back then. But I am Lightstone now. And I choose to be that every morning and every night. Yeah.
I love that. Nice. So my next question will be, when people walking with you,
mm-hmm.
what do you think is the most common stuff for all the people that wants to be in the 1% but are not there?
Mm-hmm.
And then I will ask you the question about what is the common stuff from your perspective about the 1%.
Sure. So I find that for clients in coaching, yeah. So a lot of times there's optimization problems. So people will usually know what they need to do. People are very smart. At least my clients are very smart. I don't usually work with people with personality disorders for my coaching. So people who are not super narcissistic, that have, bipolar, things like that. In my trauma healing work, that's less of coaching. That's more of intensive trauma healing. And those people actually usually don't have personality disorders either. They actually just have usually PTSD, CPTSD, developmental trauma. And they may have parts that are very wounded, and some of them may be a little narcissistic, but honestly, they just are developmentally traumatized and have wounded childlike parts. Because of this, a lot of my clients, the vast majority, they already kind of know what they need to do. Usually they may not know exactly how to do it, but they know what they need to do. And usually they need a coach or someone to help kind of lay it out for them and hold them accountable to a path that makes sense. And so a lot of times it's scheduling, being like, okay, what do you need to do? Really breaking it down. And oftentimes people will get, in psychology, call it flooded. So they'll just get overwhelmed of, oh my God, I've got to do all of these things. I don't know where to start. And they just start to fritz out. And so instead of actually just starting at some place or starting at the beginning and then doing step A, B, C, or D, or breaking up into chunks, I like to do it in 15-minute chunks. They just won't do it, or they'll do something else. They'll avoid it. And so to have a coach to actually, who's gone through this process, to knows what to do and is very grounded in themselves, then you can literally go through and help these people actually do the things they know that they need to do in an order that makes sense to them on a timeline that's sustainable, with now a whole bunch of other tools that they maybe don't know. This can be self-regulation tools. This can be just like some, calendar optimization. This can be some even like marketing outreach tools if that's what they're looking for. But a lot of it has to do with finding the parts of themselves that are tight and constricted and actually preventing them from excelling in whatever career or path that they have for themselves. And so one of the main things that I have found, and people go they literally say, I know where I want to go. I know how to do it, and I'm having trouble. It's like going to the gym. Like, bro, you just show up. Like, if you just pick the heavy weights up and then put them down in a somewhat reasonable manner for 6 months, you'll get strong. Like, people talk about all of these crazy science-based lifts. And for dudes who look like this, right, who are on the cutting 1% edge, yes, I have a very, very detailed training program that I work myself and I work with clients. The vast majority of people, they just need to go to the gym and just have fun. Like, literally just show up, just go and have a good time. If you're doing bench press, just don't get hurt. That's my number one rule. Just don't injure yourself, and then show up again, right? And so it's actually kind of getting there and organizing their life to be conducive to whatever that growth is for them.
Amazing. And what do you think about trauma? Every day today, any person declaring, I have a trauma, I have PTSD.
Yeah.
I personally have a hard time with people that hiding behind a trauma.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
No, I love it. So I totally agree with you. We should not hide behind trauma. With that said, Gabor Mate wrote this great book called The Myth of Normal. And he states, and he's a trauma expert, I've done some online trainings with him, and I've read all of his books and, listened to all of his seminars, whatever. I agree with him. And when he states that we all are traumatized at this point, our society is inherently traumatic. It doesn't have to be necessarily capital T trauma. And certainly not everyone has PTSD or CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. But it's a safe bet to say everyone's traumatized. And if we look at, the riots that are happening in Minnesota right now, both sides are traumatized and they're just screaming for help. With that said, people can't use their trauma as a shield while then hitting someone else with a cudgel of their anger, right? That is inappropriate, is predation. And so the question then is, what do you then do knowing that we have trauma? We have to heal ourselves. Other people have trauma. We need boundaries because they may be actually literally dangerous, trying to hit us with cars and stuff, or holding flashbangs in their hand because they think that's a good idea. I don't know if you saw that on Instagram, but there's a woman who picked up a flashbang, was holding it and exploded in her hand, and then got mad at riot.
It's like to be mad when you're driving in the car driving.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's a flashbang. You should probably not touch that. Just a pro tip, right? Don't pick up the hand grenade, right? Yeah. But clearly, this is a traumatized individual, right? She's not thinking clearly. To answer your question of what is trauma, I have a really great perspective on this. Gabor Mate and others have kind of pioneered this, and I've adopted it as my own. I use the analogy of a car. Okay. If you're a car and you get T-boned, you now have a dent in you, okay? This is the actual event, but it's not the trauma. The trauma is now the dent in your axle, okay? That's the trauma. So in a perfect society, which we do not live in, we would have a traumatic experience. This then goes away because time moves on, and then the community actually comes around that individual. And I believe his name is Peter Levine. He wrote extensively about this for mammals. If you have a gazelle that gets attacked or even mauled by like a lion and it gets away, the other gazelle, so the gazelle will like run off, limp off, and it may be injured, bleeding, but it doesn't die. It'll lie down in the grass, usually kind of covered, in a semi-safe area, and the other gazelles will come and nuzzle it, and it'll shake. It'll literally cathart out of its nervous system. The energy like literally leaves its body. And we don't even have to think about this in like this like metaphysical sense of like chakras and magic and God. We can, but it's physical energy and like physical electricity and chemicals that are purging now. And that's the body like getting hit. That's the lion. Boom. The lion's off mating with the other lions. It's having a great time. It's not thinking about the gazelle anymore. And then the gazelle is shaking, and in the shaking, it then comes back to a healthy nervous system. It eventually then gets up and just like walks off like nothing fucking happened. And, hopefully it doesn't get an infected wound or whatever. But the animal's fine, relatively fine. Our society, so people get traumatized. We're just constantly getting hit now. We're getting rear-ended all the time. We don't even have to pick up a flashbang to get hurt. I know. Is that so crazy? Like, who the fuck would do that? Like, you got to be really, like, something's got to be wrong with you to pick up a flashbang, bro. So we get hit and nothing happens here. Right? Society will maybe blame the victim or not say anything, or the victim's not able to actually talk about it, like sexual abuse, or like for my own childhood sexual abuse. I was so young, my brain just like compartmentalized. It was like, nope, we're not dealing with that shit. And just puts it away, but that stays there. And so now from a trauma healing perspective, I do this with clients, and I here legally in Colorado use psychedelics as kind of an activator to help the neurological system basically rewrite itself. Psilocybin legally, ketamine legally, and then others, DMT legally. And then there are other more exotic compounds that we can use in other countries that are Schedule 1 here, but that work very well in other locations. People can message me if they're interested in learning about any of this. So everyone is traumatized. It's then, do you have the courage to heal? Do you have the tools to heal? Are you able to be in a place where you can be vulnerable enough with a facilitator to heal? So I work with a lot of guys, a lot of men who are like, I'm not going to go to therapy and like sit with some like skinny fucking old dude who doesn't know my experience. I work with former gang members. I work with dudes who have killed people. I work with soldiers. They're like, I need a dude who like, if I freak the fuck out, it's going to be able to like be there and like hold the line with me. I also work with a lot of women, young women. My youngest client was 18, and I'm not going to give any information about her. She was happy for me to talk about her experience so long as I don't use her name. She was very violently gang raped, like real bad, really fucking bad. And it haunted her for a while. And she was like, her mother would, so we started doing sessions first with her mother in the adjacent room. And she said, I need to work with a male that I know like will be safe and protect me if I start to freak the fuck out. And eventually her mother would be in the room, and then her mother would be in an adjacent room, and she knew that she was farther away. And then eventually we were just doing normal sessions. And she's now in a place where she's able to actually get up, go to the store, go to the library without having like these like really horrible flashbacks. And she now would consider herself healed from that experience. She still is a young woman, still dealing with it. But she literally was not able to leave the house. And so there are ways to heal that trauma and actually have your axle go back. And then, at least in my experience, have that be no longer like a curse, right? And it can then be some of the most beautiful parts about you. And so it's like the hardship, like the eye tattoos, your most painful experiences, those are some of your defining features and some of your defining magnetisms, and some of your most magical abilities and powers once they are made whole and integrated into your system. That to me is trauma healing.
Wow. So another question. There is Chris Williams, the modern cowboy. Did a podcast with him, I think a year ago, even a little bit more. And he say, the average guy is not need therapy.
Yeah.
Chris Williams asked him, what do you think that people need to know about the average guy? He's not need, and he say, there is inside the head of a man thousand stuff more than you can imagine.
Sure.
And he said that the average guy need acknowledge about what he's doing in sacrifice for his family. Because when you speak about family, there is couple. Okay, right now, as example, I'm providing, protecting, giving, try to be love, try to be with the family, try to be their emotional, everything. The female, she is already have that. She is emotional, she is supporting, she is like a character, and she, for the guy, she providing sex, she providing love. When the couple getting divorced, the guy still need to keep doing what she did before.
Right.
The girl not.
Right.
The girl not need to do nothing for
Well, it
him
flips, and then she actually
anymore.
becomes quite aggressive and angry and destructive.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
as someone who's been divorced twice.
But that's what's happened. The guy still need to do it. You still need to be there for your daughter. You still need to be nice to your ex-wife. You still need to be that.
Yeah.
And she can say, like, I don't give a shit about you.
Or
Fuck
eat shit
you.
and die.
Or like you can,
Yeah.
whatever she
Yeah.
can say about you,
Yeah.
but you still need
Or
to
make
do.
an entire Instagram page dedicated to trying to take you down through lies, deception, deceit, and projecting all of her issues about her father on you.
Exactly. And there is like that's something that people speak about. So when you getting divorced, the guy needs to still to be that, and she doesn't need to give nothing to the guy anymore.
Yep.
And he said that people need just to acknowledge what the husband doing for the family, because he's working out. And there is a video of someone that, man, that I think that's the best video I ever saw for a father, that he going back home and he like open the phone. He's like, this is why I'm working 80 hours a week. And then when he coming back home, he's seeing his daughter open the door and like dancing and calling, like waiting for him, and he start crying. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think that's powerful. So I ask, what is your take about guys, marriage, what the guy need to do and the acknowledge of the other people need to do?
I was living in a Zen monastery, and there was a married monk. And in Zen, you can get married. It was a Zen Mountain Monastery, Mount Tremper, New York, I believe. I've lived in several. And he quoted, I don't remember who it was, maybe Walt Whitman. Most men live lives of quiet desperation. And so it's a great quote. And for him, it was Jeffrey Arnold Chugan Roshi now. He was sensei at the time when I was studying with him. He said, so how are you going to deal with your desperation? What are you going to do? Your silent desperation. He's like, you probably don't tell anybody about it. He says, but when you go on the meditation cushion, it's going to come up for you. What are you going to do? And in Zen, they have a whole series of protocols for this. To answer your question, I think that the vast majority, I'm like looking at like dudes on the wall here, and I'm like, they also, like me, like you, there are moments in which we have silent desperation. What do we do? For me, the most joyful moments of my life is when I've been able to go to a partner, beloved other, maybe my first wife or my second wife or a girl that I'm dating, and just find solace and comfort there, right? And it doesn't have to be about sex. Sex is great. I love sex. I'm good at sex. Great. But even just like holding hands, man, like fuck, getting on a couch and even like giving her a foot massage, and that's even me being generative and giving. But then seeing how I can give that love to another person and then receive love back. And that to me is like a salve to my soul, right? And so we live in this culture now where, gosh, it feels like everything is so backwards and broken and crazy. And me too. It's not like guys are fucking perfect. Like a lot of dudes are fucking assholes, They're definitely not picking up flashbangs, but I can't believe she fucking is crazy. And so what do? I think you got to be really now solid in yourself. And I'll give you an example. So this ring, this was the wedding ring that I had with my second ex-wife. There's a whole big story of like, I had it custom designed based off of this other ring that we found through this like magical, crazy thing. But it had a black stone in it. And it was so indicative of our marriage, like a fucking black stone in your wedding ring, like, bro, like incarnate demon shit. And when we got divorced, I realized I was giving my love away, but I didn't really truly at that point in my life love myself or know how to love myself. Even in my 30s, I'm 40 now. I've had to figure it out over the past, I'd say like 5 to 7 years. And I've really figured it out, I think, in the past 3 to 5. like locked in, solid. And it's one of the reasons I've waited to do this podcast. And people have been like, you need to do a podcast. I'm like, bro, I got to figure my own shit out first. So I took the stone out. I like to say I ripped it out. Someone else did it. Actually, Hurdle's Jewelry here on Pearl Street here in Boulder, Colorado. They do great work. Thank you, guys. Fantastic art. And I put in Master Healing Quartz Crystal. It's the most common of all crystals on the face of planet Earth and the most powerful. It's in our cell phones. It's in that camera. It's in your computer. It's probably in this microphone. Maybe not the mic. There's maybe no computer chips. And it represents, for me, the love that I have for myself. And so instead of looking for outside comfort, I now comfort myself like an adult male, right? And anything else is additive. And I'm single right now, and I'm excited to, I go on dates. I'm very selective of who I sleep with. I hold that very tightly because when I do give that to someone, and hopefully that will be someone that I then marry as a future wife, I am now solid in myself. I have the love for myself, right? I know how bad it can get, a bad marriage. Like, I will never forget. Thank you, Satine. I will never forget how bad it was. And I will never be able, it's like, I will never allow myself to get to that bad place with another person because I do love myself. Mm-hmm. And so I'm able now to hold that anytime that like silent desperation comes up in me, I breathe into my own heart. And then I can engage with the world in a healthy way. I didn't know how to do that. And so, like my client who was violently gang raped, she now knows how to be solid in herself. And it wasn't her fault what happened. And she didn't even like make any mistakes. She just went to a party, like it was just fucking shitty. It wasn't her fault. And so she, though, is such a strong person, even I think she's like in her 20s now, and she's gonna be a fucking badass. She already is a badass. And so I think that men need to view themselves solo first as a badass, strong and solid, and then be a gift to their partners. And for those who don't know how to do that, I have a coaching program. It's called the Stone Protocol.
Wow. Interesting. So you was married twice. Well, let's hear the next question is like what you learned from your first marriage that you didn't use in your second marriage.
Did or did not use?
Did not.
Did not do. Yeah, okay.
And then what advice that you will give yourself or something that you will must follow in your third marriage?
Yeah. Those two people were so very different. So my first wife, who I get along with very well, we share a child. And we both have invested into the co-parenting relationship, and I respect her deeply. We disagree on many things, but we agree on how we want to raise our daughter, and we agree on how much we love our daughter, and we communicate quite well, and we've had to work on that. And so I have a lot of respect for my co-parent. Thank you. Radically different people. And it almost like the skill set of that relationship, and we were so young, it was such a different experience. I almost don't even know if there was anything that I learned and didn't apply. It was like two different universes.
Okay.
It was so radically different, and such different people. And I was such a different person at that point in my life too. But the learning that I had in that relationship, it was like, we would joke, my first wife and I, we'd be like on the couch watching TV, we'd be like, why are we married? We're so different. Like, why are we even married? We owned a house and we're married and like talking about having a kid. We're like, why are we married? If you're ever asking yourself that question to your wife, you should probably not be married to that person, right? So yeah. that is probably some advice that I would give to myself. There were then times with my second wife, Satine, where she was living with me. Our businesses were totally intertwined and commingled at that point. And I asked myself, not why are we married, but like, this is not healthy. What are we doing? Right. And I didn't know how to manage that. I paid for our therapy, and we went to couples counseling sometimes twice a week for like an hour and a half to 2 hours per session. So that's like 4 hours a week of counseling. It's a lot. I didn't know how to extract myself from a situation, nor did I know how to extract myself from my first marriage. My first wife, she was the one who divorced me. And I was like, why are you doing this? Like, we can make it work. And she's like, I'm just going to self-reference as Light. My name was different then. She goes, Light, like, this is good for both. She's like, I'm totally heartbroken as well. Trust me, like, this is going to be better for you. Like, and she was right. It was still incredibly painful. I didn't know how to extract myself from a negative situation. And so actually, to answer your question, now I'm thinking of it, I didn't know how to extract myself from a negative situation with my second wife either. I literally just didn't know how to do it. I now do know how to do that. And I've dated some women. I enjoy the dark feminine. And so there have been times where I have not historically extracted myself, and now I have. And I've said no to some very exciting, young women who in many ways are very fun to be with. But I've seen some things in them that at least for me doesn't work. And I've said, no, thank you. And sometimes they're very upset, particularly if you, tell a woman that you don't want to sleep with her. They can get very, very angry. They're not used to that. And they take it very personally. And so the advice that I am giving myself, and I actually have recorded, I don't know if you've watched it. I know that you have so many people recording in your studio. I recorded an entire hour and 20 minutes on this is everything that I'm seeing in the dating scene. And all of the tips, there's 13 of them actually, plus an additional 4 at the end. We can link it in the show notes. So just go check it out. This is all of the points that I'm experiencing now dating from everything that I learned previously that I'm leveraging for myself now. And I think the biggest one that I'm holding so tightly to is know what your goal is. My goal is monogamous long-term marriage, and don't settle, don't self-sacrifice, and don't fall in love with someone's potential. You've got to love them now in the moment. And that's hard because I date girls that are younger than me. It's just what I'm interested in now at 40. And developmentally, there are certain ways where that makes sense, but there's other ways where they're still in a state of becoming. And so I have to be very careful of not falling in love, or at least falling in because it's the love that you may have right off the bat is not necessarily, 100% real. It's not developed yet, of not falling in love with their potential. Yeah. But being very present with them, and then walking away when it's time to do so, if it is.
I love that. It's good advice, and I think it's the hardest part for every man, because as men, we try to fix, we try to build.
Yeah, build.
Even something that is destroyed, we will still try to do it.
Yeah.
And when you're in a relationship that it's not the right relationship, we as a man, we're still trying to repair that. And we're still trying to fix that. I think that's a good advice for every man. Understand what do you want. That you want to look for your next wife, the girl that will live with you until the end. Yeah. It's powerful.
Yeah.
So I asked you another question. I have 2 more questions.
I love it.
You talk about dark feminine.
Yeah.
What is that, and how you seeing that in daily life on women, and how we can recognize that before it's come to you?
So for me, I love the perspective of his birth name in China was Li Ir, which translates to long ear. Most people know him as Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism. And for him in the Tao Te Ching, when I was a kid, this is kind of funny, I had 10 different copies of the Tao Te Ching, and I was probably 16. I didn't speak Chinese or couldn't read Mandarin. And I loved Taoism, and I had been practicing martial arts and Tai Chi for already 4 or 5 years, heavily, every day with my teacher. And so I would read the Tao Te Ching and I would do stanza by stanza with 10 different versions of 10 different translations to try and understand what the similarities were depending on how it was translated in English. It'd be kind of like when I read your book, you're going to try to translate it from, Hebrew into English as well as you can. Now you're the author, so you'll be able to get it right because you speak English. But imagine, 1,000 years later, whenever, these guys were, writing in ancient China, it's up to interpretation, right? And so he calls, and I love this perspective, and I've held on to this since I was a kid, dark feminine enigma. So it's non-pejorative. It's not being cruel, crazy bitch. But it's this dark as in mysterious, feminine as in creative and life-giving, comforting, and then enigma as in inherently mysterious. And an enigma is a thing that you almost can't even understand. Not don't try, but good luck, bro. You know what I mean? Good luck. And so that is hopefully when the dark feminine is just like dark feminining, not destructive, not unintegrated, but just existing.
Mm-hmm.
And Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, he said it better, so I'm just going to quote him. This is me paraphrasing now. This is now my interpretation and my embodiment of it. It's like for him, and I would say for me, it's the most interesting and powerful creative force in the universe, this dark feminine enigma.
Okay.
As masculine, we're builders. So we create shit, we like create systems. And I was talking to this woman yesterday. She's like, that's an amazing like intellectual pursuit of whatever. I'm like, yeah, but that's how I think. And for them, it's this organic growth of what are they birthing? And like, they don't fucking know. Like, it's a dark feminine enigma to them too. It also can be very destructive. And so we can look at the archetype or goddess, and I do believe is an actual like goddess of Kali Ma. And this is, are you familiar with Kali?
I know about the Tao.
Yeah.
And I know about the Tao Lao Che.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I use that book a lot in my life.
Yeah.
When I have a question and I don't know the answer, I just one page.
Bro, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kali Ma comes from India, from Yoga Tantra, and from Hinduism. And she's one of the many consorts of Shiva. All of my tattoos are Shiva tattoos. Not all of them, but the main ones are, which is the integrated masculine. Kali Ma is the angry, wrathful, protective, but aggressive, dark, very dark female archetype. And I do believe in non-corporeal entity that is known as Kali Ma. And this is not Kali from like Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever, Indiana Jones. Okay. That's like a different thing. This is like the actual like Hindu goddess. Like she'll fucking kill you. Like that is literally her job. So she like cuts off the head of the demon and is like yeah, seriously. She has a necklace of skulls. She's covered in blood. You can catch her at the right time of the month. I think you have a great time. Any other time, she'll kill you. That's that's an ovulation joke. So my point here is you can have Kali Ma, but you can also have Durga, Ma Durga. So Kali Ma, after she kills Shiva and basically everybody else, Shiva then lets himself die and turns into a baby. And it's the only thing that then allows Kali Ma to actually soften. She sees her lover as a baby and sees Shiva, who is Mahadev. Mahadev is the largest of all of the gods, maybe ever, at least of the terrestrial human ones. I think there are bigger ones elsewhere, but here on planet Earth, his stories about him are amazing. And he allows himself to be slain by his beloved, knowing that he'll then come back as this baby. And it is only as a baby, that innocence of the masculine of saying, okay, I don't like the word submit, but like, I will be vulnerable to you. That then Kali Ma, this dark, negative, destructive energy softens. And then she transmutes herself into Ma Durga. And Ma Durga is this luminous, bright, white light goddess. She's usually riding a tiger or a lion. And she always has this smile. And it's not a condescending smile. It's a smile of knowing how powerful she is. She holds a mace over her head. And she's basically like saying like, don't tread on me. Like you can fuck with me if you want, but like I'm like lions got teeth, I got teeth, and I got a mace. Oh, and I'm also married to Shiva. Yeah. And you don't get Ma Durga without Kali Ma. Okay. And so I believe that women, like men, like me, have to go through this transition where they integrate their negative darkness and they transmute it into light. And so when we talk about the dark feminine, it's part and parcel also to the light feminine. And if you want a truly powerful light feminine partner, she's going to have to go through shit. Hopefully she doesn't go through a gang rape experience like my client and friend, but that young woman, her Ma Durga is fucking strong, bro. And I respect the shit out of it. And it doesn't have to necessarily be that aggressive, right? I have sexual trauma in my past. I wouldn't trade it away. Like, it was rough. It took me years to integrate it. Once I did, I'm doing pretty good now. And so when I look for a potential partner, it's interesting. I date girls in their 20s, and it's like some of them are still in that process. And Saturn return is like 30, and that's a huge big thing.
28 to 7.
Yeah.
28. I need to, people say to me all the time, you're going to wait till your Saturn return another year from now. I say,
yeah, it's intense. It's intense.
I don't know. I never experienced that.
It's intense.
Let's see if I will figure it out soon.
You'll figure it out. Yeah.
I said that my Saturn return was like in 25.
There you go. Okay.
Because when I did the switch to come to a new country and start new stuff and take all the risks that exist in the fucking world, I took in 1 year. So I'm thinking that's my Saturn return. People saying no, like people at understand saying no, you didn't feel that yet. Wait. I was just
gonna say like that Saturn return light.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't mean light as in light stone, but light as in like diet, you know?
Let's see. We don't know. I'll ask you the last question.
Okay.
What is the best advice that you can give for young generation? Even like think about you in your 20s. What is the best advice that you think light in that days or whatever name you have?
Surround yourself with a really, really, really good group of other people and hopefully several mentors. And if you can, a coach. Really align yourself with someone who has done something before. They've already done it, hopefully twice, that you want to emulate. So I literally lived in my teacher's home. I did live-in apprenticeships for philosophy. And then I did apprenticeships in martial arts where I lived outside of the dojo. There's Uchi Deshi and Soto Deshi. And so I chose to live outside of the dojo. There's literally wasn't enough room. And I had my day job. I worked as a line cook. And then I would go and I train martial arts for like fucking 5 hours a day, 4 to 5 hours a day. I learned from these people, right? They weren't perfect. I'm not perfect. Surround yourself with people who you want to learn from and emulate. And people, you know in your gut, like young guys, like there are dudes in your life, they're fucking dead weight. And bro, why? Like, why are you fucking hanging out with that kid? You're like, why are you around him? Like, what does that do for you? It's not good. Like, feels good like a drug, to like talk shit about people or like whatever. Let it go. And if you need to be by yourself a little bit, that's fine. But then join a men's group, join a community. I have a coaching program. I've got a bunch of group coaching programs that you can join. Find a coach, find a way to pay for it, get a fucking job, and prioritize your own development because no one else is going to do it for you. Like, I'm sorry to say, like, no one gives a shit about you. They don't. No one fucking cares. Your parents, they want you out of the house and yeah, they love you. They don't want to fucking take care of you for the rest of your life. I got an 8-year-old daughter. I tell her, I am setting you up for success. I will always have your back. But like, you have to be self-sufficient. I will give you all of the resources I can reasonably for you to excel. But like, as a dude, people do not give a fuck about you. Honestly, they want to use you. They want to get you into wage slavery. They want you to have crazy APR on your credit card debt and be underwater on a fucking car payment. So you are just a fucking cog in the machine. And if you want that life for you, go for it. I would encourage you to do otherwise. And then find other guys, other entrepreneurs who are doing really good work and learn from them.
I agree. It's just what I say to Ethan. I told him, when you will understand that no one will come to save you and you are the only one that can save yourself, you will be successful.
Yeah.
But before that, it's hard because people depending on their parents. And I just talked with a friend of mine that is 42 and he asked me like, what your dad did that I don't do. I told him, you give everything to your son.
Yeah.
You don't even send him to clean the table.
Yeah.
You don't even tell him do dishes. You don't even tell him, clean the garden. Yeah. Like when I was 6 years old, I break something. My father sent me to work as to clean all shit. My mom was my babysitter there. My father gave money to the farmer that he gave me money, but I didn't know that at the age of 6 years old. I say I did something. I need to go pay for that. So I'm gonna work and I clean fucking shit of horses. And like.
And now you're running a fucking company where you have a bunch of people who want to work with you, work for you, and work alongside you.
Yeah.
For that work ethic.
That's only the beginning.
Yeah.
I also tell the people it's only the beginning. Let's do podcast. It's gonna be minimum 50 locations around the USA.
Yeah.
We have already 3 in less than 11 months.
Yeah.
We don't even started yet.
I see it.
We're figuring out everything while we're talking.
And when you become a parent, I do this with my kid. You can see the predation or the predatory nature of our culture, of how our culture insidiously like corrupts. I'll just be very specific about my daughter. I love you, Freya, but corrupts her to be lazy and to be selfish. And it's not her fault. It's literally culture. So we have these glass straws, and I drink coffee usually out of a glass straw because I don't want to stain my teeth at home. And she will take a glass straw, put it in her tea, and then get another glass straw and another glass straw. And she uses all the glass straws. We have like 4 of them or 5 of them. And I've told her, you get 1 glass straw, I get 1 glass straw, just reuse it and wash it out. But for her, she's like, oh, I get another. And she then leaves these cups around the apartment. I'm like, it is not my job to walk around you and clean up your slug trail. There's now not a glass straw for me. Like, I have a full-time job. I have all this other stuff going on. It's not my job to clean up after you. You're 8 years old. She's part of the gifted program. I mean, she's like literally one of the smartest kids in her school. Like, you can do this. Mm-hmm. And I will not allow you to settle for less literally in our own home and to be lazy. Like, you are smarter than that. You are better than that. I always have her recite. She goes, and I make her say this: I am strong, I am brave, I am intelligent, I am kind, and I am dangerous. And she feels that, she knows that. And then she's like, and I clean up after myself. You know?
That's what I'm doing with my puppy.
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. I think that was an amazing conversation, Light. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Great advices. And people, if someone wants to work with Light, is lightstone.com.
So you can go to lightstone.media. That's on Instagram. That's the most direct way to get in touch with me. Lightstone.media. It's got a blue check. Send me a DM. I will literally talk to you. I will hop on a phone call and talk about my coaching programs. Or you can go to stoneprotocol.com. STONEPROTOCLE.com. I would suggest going to Instagram. You'll get daily content. I post twice a day. You can literally send me a message and I'll get back to you, usually within about 4 or 5 hours. I'm very good about my DMs.
And important for me to touch that you speak about coaching program. Light have coaching program that start at like $200, $300 a month. So everyone can afford that.
Yeah.
And if you look into do something bigger in your life, and that's what is your ability to afford right now, you can start in that way. When you will grow and you will grow and you grow, you can start working one-on-one with Light or whatever coach you decide, but he giving the option for people to start.
Yeah.
So that's...
Because I when I was 20, I wouldn't be able to afford my one-on-one coaching. And so I have my group coaching program priced at a very reasonable price. So anyone, I say the money is never a barrier. Like, you will be able to do this, and I can help you in your life, get you to that place. Like, and if you can't afford $250, like, there are other pressing issues in your life of you mismanaging money. Like, go get a job, and I can help you think about that as a coach. But like, as a young man, bro, like, you can fucking work.
I agree. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, dude.
This was great.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.